All right, folks, welcome back for another deep dive. And, we like to go deep into the good stuff, the really meaty stuff. And this time we're diving headfirst into Shakespeare land.
That's right, we are. And most people, when they think of Hamlet, they think of the super famous to be or not to be speech.
Yeah, they think, oh, that's the big one.
Right. But we're not doing that one.
Nope, not today.
Today, we are tackling another one of Hamlet's big speeches, his soliloquies. And this one's a doozy.
It really is. And this one is all about, Hamlet just totally roasting himself.
He's going off on himself.
It's like he's in a rap battle with his own brain.
It is, and it's really fascinating because it comes right after he's watched this traveling actor just completely lose it over a fictional character.
Yeah, it's right. So, picture this. Hamlet's just seen this actor, pour his heart and soul into this performance about Hecuba, the Queen of Troy.
Right.
And he's, sitting there watching this guy just, sob his heart out.
And he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. This dude's crying over a made-up queen, and I'm over here.
With a real dead dad.
With a real dead dad and a murderous uncle, and I'm just, chilling.
Exactly. And that's what kicks off this whole soliloquy.
Right. It's the turning point for him.
It is. He's comparing himself to this actor, and he's like, why can't I act? Why am I not feeling this so intensely?
Yeah, he's basically like, what's wrong with me? This guy's more upset about a fake queen than I am about my own life.
Right, and that's the brilliance of Shakespeare, He's giving us this window into Hamlet's head, and we get to see all the mental gymnastics he's going through.
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare's a therapist giving us all the juicy gossip.
Exactly, and this soliloquy starts with some serious self-deprecation.
Oh yeah, he does not hold back.
He calls himself a rogue and peasant slave. I mean, that's...
For a prince, that's harsh.
Pretty harsh, yeah.
He's really digging deep to find the worst insults.
He is, and, it really shows how much he's struggling with this idea of not being good enough, not living up to his own expectations or what he thinks other people expect of him.
Right, so it's not just him being a drama queen, it's deeper than that.
Oh, it's way deeper than that.
It's like that inner critic we all have just dialed up to 11.
Exactly, like that voice in your head that's like, you're a loser, you'll never be good enough.
Yeah, and he's a prince. So imagine the pressure on this guy.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't want to trade places with him.
No way. So
Yeah.
Let's break down this roast line by line.
Okay, let's do it.
So he starts off by saying, oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I.
Talk about setting the tone.
Right. Damn, Hamlet, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
Is he being super melodramatic here, or is there something more to it?
Oh, there's definitely more to it. Like I said, this is a prince, right? He's supposed to be strong and decisive, the guy in charge.
A leader.
Yeah, exactly. And by using these insults, these really degrading terms, he's showing just how frustrated he is with himself.
Yeah, he's basically saying, I should be out there leading armies, avenging my dad, and instead I feel like a peasant who can't even get his act together.
Right, and he really drives that point home when he compares himself to the actor.
Oh, yeah, that part where he's like, this guy's killing it over a fictional character, and I'm a mess.
Exactly. He says, is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wand, tears in his eyes, distraction in Canis aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting hair, with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba.
Okay, well, hold on. There's a lot packed into that chunk of text.
He's basically saying this actor is completely embodying the emotions of the character he's playing. He's so into it that he's physically transformed.
So he's really selling it.
He's selling it. He's pale. He's crying. His voice is cracking. He's like a completely different person.
And Hamlet's just sitting there like,
Hey!
are you serious?
He's like, you're going through all this for a made-up story.
And I can't even muster a tear for my own dead dad.
Exactly. He's highlighting that difference between his own emotional response or lack thereof and the actor's complete immersion in this fictional world.
It's like he's saying, I'm broken. I can't even feel things right.
Right. And that just adds to his self-doubt and his frustration.
Okay, so he's roasted himself pretty good so far.
Mm-hmm.
What else is on the menu for this Shakespearean self-deprecating feast?
Well, he's just getting started, trust me.
Oh, I bet he is. But that's a story for another time.
That's right. We've got to save some for next time. So, we left off with Hamlet basically saying, what's wrong with me? This actor's more upset about a fake queen than I am about my own life.
Yeah, he's really laying into himself, isn't he?
He is, but here's where it gets even more interesting, because in the middle of all this self-flagellation, he drops a line that throws a whole new wrench into things.
Oh, yeah, the part where he basically says he's not even sure if he can trust the ghost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal because up until now, we've been assuming that he totally believes the ghost story about Claudius murdering his dad.
Right. It's like the whole foundation of his revenge plot.
Exactly. And now he's suddenly questioning everything.
Well, let's back up a bit and go through it line by line. So he starts off by saying, "Yet, a dull and muddy metalled rascal peak, like John a dreams unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing, no, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made." It's like he's piling on the insults now.
He is. He's really going all out with the self-hatred.
Muddy metalled. What the heck does that even mean?
It basically means cowardly, lacking spirit, like he's all talk and no action.
Okay, so he's basically calling himself a wimp.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then there's that John of Dreams bit. Sounds like he's saying he's a space cadet.
Yeah, exactly. He's lost in thought, detached from reality. It's like he's all theory and no practice, which, just adds to his frustration.
Right, because he knows he needs to act, but he's stuck in his own head.
Exactly. And then it gets even more intense.
Yeah, things are about to get real.
He goes on this rant. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pita crust, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, give me the lie of the throat, as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Huh. Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be. But I am pigeon-livered and lack gall. To make oppression bitter or air this, I should have fatted all the region kites, with this slave's awful, bloody body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance!
Whoa, dude, that escalated quickly.
Right, it's like a switch flipped, and now he's all rage and fury.
I mean, I get it, he's talking about a bloody body villain, but still, it's a pretty intense reaction.
It is, and it shows just how much this whole situation is eating him up inside.
Yeah, and let's not forget about that pigeon-livered thing again. Is he, like, obsessed with pigeons or something?
No, it's not about pigeons, it's about courage, or rather the lack of it. Pigeon-livered was an insult back then, basically meaning someone was meek and timid, lacking the guts to take action.
Okay, so he's basically saying he's too chicken to do anything about Claudius.
Yeah, but then he goes on this whole rant about how he should have already killed Claudius and fed his body to the birds like he's psyching himself up. But then he pulls back again.
Yeah, it's like he's 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Exactly, and that's what makes this soliloquy so fascinating. It captures that back and forth in Hamlet's mind.
Yeah, he's torn between wanting revenge and being afraid to actually do anything about it.
Right, he's wrestling with his own conscience, his own sense of morality.
It's like he wants to be this heroic avenging angel, but he's not sure if he can actually pull it off.
And then comes the bombshell about the ghost.
Yeah, this is where things get really wild.
He says, "Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words, and fall a-cursing like a very drab a scullion. Fiapont, foe, about my brain I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions, for murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ."
Wait, so after all that talk about killing Claudius, he's now having second thoughts about the ghost story.
He's like, wait a minute, what if this ghost is lying to me? What if I'm making a huge mistake?
I mean, that's a pretty big deal, right? The ghost is like his only source of information about what happened to his dad.
Exactly. And now he's realizing that maybe he shouldn't have just taken the ghost's word for it.
But why the sudden change of heart?
Well, remember back then, ghosts were seen as kind of shady figures? They weren't just friendly spirits hanging around. They could be like demons trying to trick people.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So Hamlet's doubt isn't totally crazy. He's just being cautious.
Right, like what if the ghost is messing with him? What if he goes all vigilante and it turns out he was wrong the whole time?
Exactly. He needs more than just the ghost's word. He needs proof evidence, something concrete to justify taking action.
Makes sense. I mean, you don't want to accidentally kill your uncle if he's innocent.
No, definitely not. And that's what leads him to his next big idea, the play within the play.
Yeah, the whole let's put on a show and see if Claudius cracks thing.
Exactly. He's going to use the play as a kind of test, a way to see if Claudius will reveal his guilt through his reaction.
That's pretty clever, actually.
It is. It shows that Hamlet's not just a brooding emo kid. He's actually using his brain.
Yeah, he's like a Shakespearean Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly. He's using his intellect to try to solve this mystery and figure out the truth. So Hamlet's got this plan to use a play to basically catch Claudius red-handed, right?
Yeah, it's like he's setting a trap.
Exactly. He's turning the whole theater into like a crime scene investigation.
It's pretty badass, actually. I mean, this guy's been agonizing over every little decision, and now he's suddenly coming up with this elaborate scheme.
Right. It's like a whole new side of Hamlet is emerging.
Yeah, he's not just moping around anymore. He's taking charge.
And I think that's partly because of the actor he saw, the one who was so good at expressing emotions.
Oh, yeah. He's like, if that guy can make people cry over a fake queen, I can definitely use a play to mess with my uncle.
Right. He sees the power of theater to manipulate people's emotions, and he's like, I'm going to use that.
Yeah, he's like weaponizing art.
Exactly. He's turning it into a tool for revenge.
So he's basically saying, Claudius, you can't hide from the truth. I'm going to expose you for the villain you are.
Right. He's going to create a situation where Claudius is forced to confront his guilt.
It's like psychological warfare.
It is. And it's pretty genius if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of guts to pull something like that off.
And intelligence. He's not just relying on brute force. He's using his brain to outsmart his enemy.
So let's recap what we've learned from this awesome soliloquy. We've got Hamlet dealing with some serious self-doubt. He's questioning his courage. He's not sure if he can trust the ghost. And on top of all that, he's coming up with this crazy plan to use a play to expose the truth.
It's a lot to handle.
It is, and it makes you realize that Hamlet's not just some whiny prince. He's a complex character with real depth.
Exactly. He's relatable, We've all felt those same doubts and anxieties.
Yeah, we all have those moments where we're not sure if we can do something or if we're making the right choices.
And Hamlet's story reminds us that it's okay to struggle, to question, to doubt. Those are all part of being human.
And sometimes those struggles lead us to our greatest triumphs.
Exactly. Hamlet could have just wallowed in his misery, but instead he chose to fight back, to use his intelligence and creativity to find a solution.
Well said. So folks, next time you're feeling lost or unsure of yourself, remember Hamlet. Remember his struggle for certainty, his courage to question, and his brilliant plan to use a play to expose the truth.
And remember that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive into the world of Shakespeare. We'll see you next time.